I'd like to call the Unsafe Building Department meeting to order on the February 15th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Mr. Hunley?
Here.
Ms. Howard? Present. Ms. Sheehan?
Here.
Mr. Deutmeyer?
Here.
Mr. Salatas?
Present.
Ms. Abernathy? Present. Mr. Gatto?
Here.
Ms. Tyduk is present. Mr. Austin?
Present.
Minutes, October 19th, 2022, November 16th, 2022, and January 18th, 2023 minutes. Can I get a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to approve the above-mentioned meetings.
I second it.
Thank you.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Bessauer?
Yes.
Ms. Sheehan?
Yes. Okay, we have active unsafe, 7020 West 139th Place, Land-Based Builder and Associates, Inc., formerly INACQ, LLC. Do you have anybody present for that property?
No one present online for that property.
Okay.
Last month you guys sent out the initial order of demolition. Nothing has been received by my office.
We haven't heard anything from the current owner.
Okay, so on that one, do we make a motion to?
Make a motion to affirm the initial demolition order.
Yeah, so we'd have to enter the affirmation order, which again goes out, gives them the opportunity to come back next month
Okay.
and give us a plan, or if they fail to appear, then, you know, if the board wants, you could sort of finalize that order and add it to the list.
Okay. So you guys want to affirm?
Make a motion that we affirm the order.
I'll second.
All right, roll call.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Bessauer?
Yes.
Ms. Sheehan?
Yes. Okay. Now we have 14407 Fairbanks, Prairie Oak Holding, LLC. Is there anybody present for that?
They demoed it, it's done.
That one's done?
It's done, yeah.
Okay, so this could just
Be removed off the
be
agenda.
removed off the agenda. Okay, perfect. Do we need to make a motion for that?
Just for clarity's sake, I
Okay,
would.
can I get a motion to remove this off the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
I second it.
Roll call?
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Bessauer?
Yes.
Ms. Sheehan?
Yes. Okay. 13716 Birch Street, the Blanton property.
Yeah, I'm Roger Blanton, 16152 Wicker, Lowell. I'm continuing clearing the property, cleaning up the debris. Right now we're working on the outside, getting rid of all of the shrubbery and excess materials that were laying around. And we didn't get as much done as we had planned this month because I left here on the 8th, we were here the 18th, my wife broke her hip on the 19th.
Oh, I'm sorry to
at
hear
the
that.
doctor's office.
Oh, my goodness.
The pain doctor's office, after he gave her a shot in the back.
Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that.
They let her fall. Anyway, long story short, I had to spend a week with her at the hospital, and then she couldn't do anything for the last 3 weeks by herself, so I got my daughter watching her now.
Okay.
But anyway, I go over there as much as possible. My daughter volunteers to watch her when her business is slow.
Okay.
So I'm going to continue going, and give him all the wood that I'm cutting to my neighbor. And my other neighbor is interested in buying the property and fixing it up as well. So if he doesn't, for some reason, I'm going to continue. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to hold permits to do a roof and and the fascia as soon as I get it all cleaned up around the outside.
Okay, so were we on a 60-day extension, is that what I'm
You
assuming?
gave him
Yeah.
a 30-day extension last month, and he had requested a 60-day. You wanted an update in 30 days, so
Yeah, you wanted an update in 30 days.
Okay.
it's at your discretion on how much longer you want to give him an extension for.
Is there a permit on this one?
There is an interior, exterior demo permit.
Yeah, I showed Tony some of the improvements.
Pictures of improvement. Okay, so they're trying.
Yeah, he's getting the outside cleaned up.
Okay. What would you guys?
I mean, can we do another 30
Yeah,
and get an update?
yeah. I think, well, he had 60, he need to come back for us an update, so we got 30 more, is that correct?
It had been 30 last month.
Oh, it was already.
I think he asked for
30.
60 and you guys gave
So
him.
he would need another 30.
Yeah, I need more because of my wife breaking her
Yeah,
neck.
yeah.
There has been some progress made on it though?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Tony said it has, so.
Yeah.
Are you okay coming back in 30 days and giving us
Oh,
another
yeah.
update on that?
Sure.
Let's make that motion.
No problem.
Give him another 30 days.
Okay.
Yeah, I would second that.
Oh, thank you.
Roll call?
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mrs. Sauer?
Yes,
Ms. Shevitz?
Yes.
the best to your wife as well. I hope she continues to heal.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, can I address the board?
My neighbor wants to buy my property.
Don? My name's Donald Johnson. I live at 13711 Birch Street, right across from Mr. Blanton.
Okay.
Recently, my fiancee passed away. I do not have a house. The house that I live in is her son's now. I want to buy his property and fix it up and live it. I'm not a contractor, I'm a carpenter by trade. I feel totally confident I can restore the house to its,
A livable condition.
past a livable,
So, does
You have
Mr.
a-
Blanton want to sell it to you?
yes, he does.
I'm willing to sell it to him
Okay. So,
I'm still gonna
I mean, I don't-
continue working
That's
until
not
then.
our area.
No, I mean, if there's a transfer of the interest in the property, then obviously the new owner's gonna take
Then
it
you'll be
subject to.
before us as far as,
All right.
so it would transfer from him coming in to you coming in.
Is there a booklet or some kind of information I can get on the actual unsafe condition of a house, or what exactly I need to
You could
get?
probably get a report.
Yeah, the report's
The
public
report,
Mhm.
yeah.
You
We
would-
could get you a copy of the report.
Right.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, 9320 West 142nd Avenue, Midland Trust Company and custodian SEO Pamela Broadway, account 1716575. Is she on Zoom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so, Pamela, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, I'm present.
Okay, Tony, I believe that the garage is supposed to be down and the dumpster was supposed to be all down and the dumpster was being removed, but you went over there and that was not the case.
Right, I took those pictures
Yeah, you
the
took those
day
pictures and
after our
found
last
them.
meeting, I think.
Right.
More
So-
pictures today that were,
So we have more
Actually,
pictures
well.
today?
Yes, my apologies, I did not get them onto the iPad. It looked like
That's okay.
everything was down and they were cleaning up debris.
there was no dumpster there, they were loading into a pickup truck,
But the walls are now down?
yes.
Okay.
The garage is all down and the debris, they took three pickup trucks full to the town of Cedar Lake dumpsters, today. So I'd say it's probably, 85 to 90% debris cleared, cleaned up. And the house, or the garage is completely down.
So we were at, last time, getting that down and cleaned up. We were leaving weren't worried about the concrete pad, I believe.
No, the concrete pad we
We
weren't worried
said
about.
that's not unsafe. And then next step is supposed to be the house, correct?
Talking about the house and coming up with a plan to make the house safe.
So do we have a plan for the house, Pamela?
That hasn't been discussed yet with you guys. I mean, at this point, my focus was gonna be on the inside because we're still in the winter months and that's kind of what I've been struggling with the garage, trying to do this in the winter months. So I was gonna focus on the inside at this point. I mean, at this point, it's just continuing. I was gonna do the permit for continuing with the drywall and the flooring and painting on the unless,
Tony, is this, I
There-
mean, there's
Yeah,
not-
we can't do anything unless we get a site inspection there and see what needs to be done.
Yeah, 'cause I don't know, I mean, there's a lot more than drywall and painting it looks to
Right.
be. So,
this, I-
yeah. Yeah, and
I guess I'm not understanding what you're saying. I mean, are you trying to?
Tony, we need to go in and inspect the interior of the house and see actually what needs to be done. It's more than cosmetic. So we would have to have an inspection done and so that you knew exactly what needed to be replaced and done to the inside.
I thought that was already done with the inspection report.
We didn't go inside the house.
They need to
There
go
were pictures
inside.
taken through a window, that was it.
Yeah, they need to walk around in the house.
Okay.
So that would be the next thing, and then from there, you would need to, if you agreed that you were gonna repair everything that needed to be repaired, I believe then we would issue a permit,
Yeah, I mean, you would direct the building department to issue a
To-
shorter duration.
a short duration permit, but, so at this point, we need to get Tony access to go inside the house and write a
Yeah,
report.
so probably what would make sense would be, if the board so inclined is to give her 30 days to arrange a time with Tony, or have her people arrange a time with Tony, so they can come back next month and give us sort of a report as to what needs to be done, and in the meantime, she can come up with a plan as to how she's going to do it.
Okay, so, Heather, Jim, what do you guys think?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I guess at what point, because I've never had to go through this at what point during this process is it not going to be like this every 30-day type deal? Like, is there at any point
Probably
where-
when we see real progress happening, I would assume.
If I may, I would suggest that point would be when the structure is no longer unsafe.
Right.
So
Okay.
when the hole in the roof or the soffit
Mhm.
aren't falling down anymore, when those unsafe conditions are remedied, then it would likely come without or beyond the purview of this board. And specifically like interior stuff, then that's just building department related. It's not necessarily within
Without,
your guys'.
right, once it's safe. Okay, makes sense.
There is no hole in the roof and there are no soffits that are coming down.
Yeah, there are, in the pictures, it looks like.
I'm looking at a picture of one right now.
Yeah, in the pictures there are.
Pamela, out of curiosity, when was the last time you were at this property or on the land?
Probably about a year ago.
And also out of curiosity, what was the miscommunication last meeting when you said that the garage was down? Or maybe there was one wall and all the debris was gone, but when our staff went out, none of that had happened.
That's incorrect. When I was on the meeting, I got sent pictures, and there were 3 walls down. I believe Tony was there before any walls came down.
Timestamp on the pictures is from the day after.
Yeah, he went after our meeting.
And there were still
No,
walls
he was there
up.
the day of. He was there the day of, because if you check the minutes in the meeting, Tony had said, I was just out there this afternoon, there was a minivan in the driveway, and none of the walls were down. And I got pictures sent to me where, 2.5 walls were already down, or 2 3/4 walls were down before the 6 PM meeting. Because I had somebody out there in the rain doing it by themselves because the other guys didn't show up.
So
So I was,
Ms. Broadway, to clarify, he had said he'd gone out to do an inspection, saw people out there working. The very next day afterwards, he went out to verify your claim that all but one wall was down and most of the debris was cleaned up. 3 walls were still standing and most of the debris was still on the property, and he had photographs of that.
I never said the debris was gone, I just said the walls were down. So the amount of walls that I said.
Wow.
I mean, can you visit the property? If you're saying there's not soffits down and things like that, I mean, all of these pictures prove otherwise, so.
Well, I can go into the property. I mean, this is the first time you guys said something about soffit. So up until this point, in the last 6 meetings I've been in,
Well, because we were focusing on the garage first.
Yeah, we've never discussed anything about the house.
Well, I mean, I guess my point is there seems to be a lack of, not even communication, but maybe understanding of what kind of condition the home is really in. And if you haven't been there for a year, it might behoove you to go visit the property and look and see just how poorly it looks.
Okay. I mean, that's not my understanding. I'll talk to the person that's handling it now. I mean, but I was not under the understanding that there were soffits falling down, but I'm not a built-in person, so.
It's in pretty poor shape.
Okay.
I guess we're at the point of, do we want to, Heather, Jim, do you want to give her 30 days to let Tony in there, or where do you want to go with her?
Well, has anyone issued a permit for the remodeling work that has been done in there, or?
There hasn't been anything done. All she's done is work on taking down the garage, nothing more has been done.
I mean, again, it might be a good idea for you to come out and meet Tony at the property. You know, that way we're all on the same page here of what's going on there.
I could probably do that. I mean.
Can you make that happen in the next 30 days?
Yeah, if I can, yeah. I mean, I just have a weird work schedule, you know, like it alters during the whole week, but I can probably work something out when I can call the administrative girl and see what I can work out.
I mean, I just think it'd be a really good idea for you to have your own eyes on the property. I understand you have construction people there, but, I mean, that's not always an accurate representation of what's going on.
Sure, no, I completely understand.
I'd be fine giving 30 days for her to meet with Tony, but that's being said that we also need time to get a report from you, so the next, 21 days, really?
I mean, really, to meet with her would be to assess what type of a permit and the extent and the scope of work for the permit. So, as long as we do that.
Tony, would it work out better for you to meet, like with the gentleman that you met with today? Would it be better for you to do the inspection, walking through with him? And then once you get the inspection report written up, then I come out and meet you?
He explained that you're not very construction savvy. This was your cousin, I assume?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's how he introduced himself.
Yes.
I'm fine with that. If he knows what needs to be done and he's going to head up the project, then
sure,
I don't have a problem with it. As long as someone can show up there and understand what
I
needs to be
think
done.
where Heather's going is that we communicate with Pamela every month.
Right.
And Pamela doesn't know what is taking place
Right.
out there or the
Right.
condition of it. So that would, in my mind, that would be fine for you to meet with him, but then maybe he needs to sit in on the Zoom call.
Sure. Yeah, if he's the one that's going to head the thing up, then, yeah, he should.
Instead of Pamela being on, or maybe both of them.
Right.
Because she's not on the same place that we are.
I can certainly do. See, I'm more of the business end of it, the numbers. I'm an accountant by profession, so, you know, so there's the project managing, and then I'm the whole numbers, back office type. I do everything else. But I'm just trying to see, like, for your purposes, for more efficiency, is it, like, for Tony, is it better to run through the inspection with him, come up with the inspection report, and then I come out there after he's done with the inspection report, or I don't know what it is you're looking for. I'm just trying to streamline it for you.
I'm looking for you to have an accurate representation of what this property looks like, and you're not getting that now. If you're telling me that there's no soffit coming down and no holes in the home, that's not the case at all. This house is in poor...
No, I didn't say that. I just said I wasn't aware of that.
Okay. It's up to you whether you want to...
Okay, so either way, what we're saying is an inspection needs to be done within the next 30 days, whether myself or the gentleman that's heading it all up, him or both of us with Tony walking through the house with the inspection.
And probably, maybe possibly both of you, if he's the one getting involved, on the next Zoom meeting.
Okay, okay.
I guess, and just for clarity, Tony, are you issuing an inspection report from this, or are you just talking through what needs to be done with them?
This is just going to be guiding them on what type of permit, what type of scope of work they will need to apply for a permit, so that they can then move in the right direction. You guys will have to decide the term, the length of time for the permit,
Right.
and what you expect to see happen, I suppose.
That was kind of
I
my
mean, I
understanding.
What's
So, that was what I thought. I wanted to
Yeah.
make sure that we're all clear on this. And the other thing I would suggest to the board is that maybe it's appropriate to, when Ms. Broadway appears next month, is to at least have the beginnings. I understand that, given the timeframes, maybe she can't come up with full plans to do this, but I would suggest that how this has progressed is we would want to at least to see the beginnings of some plans as to what's going to be
Yeah.
done, or at least a rough sketch of timelines of what she anticipates being done to the property to get it off this list.
Okay, yeah, 'cause it's been a while.
Can I ask a question also? I guess in my mind, because I know there are a lot of things that need to be done in the house, and, how can I say this? I guess I was thinking that the board was going to be prioritizing, based on that unsafe report or whatever that came out of this. I didn't know if you guys are gonna prioritize the order in which things need to be, or it's just, this is everything that needs to be done, go at it.
I believe it'll be everything that needs to be done and a timeline of when and how you plan to do it.
Okay, fair
Am I
enough.
correct, Ryan?
Yeah, just looking at the findings here, right, sort of, so Ms. Broadway knows priority-wise, what Tony had listed was siding, windows, and doors are in disrepair, missing basement crawl space window, soffits, fascia, exterior trims falling off, vegetation on the premises, obviously this time of year is less of a concern, then the detached garage is gone. So generally speaking, the priority, ma'am, should probably be the exterior issues that are creating the property to be unsafe.
But he hasn't been in the house, so we don't know what's unsafe
Correct.
inside as well. So
Correct,
that would be, that list could be added to.
absolutely.
Which was kind of my point on why I think you need to come out here. You're talking about paint and drywall, and we're talking about a home that needs to be taken off of the unsafe list. So,
Well, I guess my question at this point, because of what's on the report right now, like the gentleman just said, those are all exterior. Now, that's a little bit rough to be telling me to try to man up some crews to be working on soffit and fascia and siding and windows when we're at the beginning of February here.
yeah, ma'am, we're asking for a plan. We're not asking you to go out in the next 30 days and repair the home.
Oh, okay.
We need to be on the
Okay,
same page with the condition of the home and that you understand the condition and what your plan is to correct that, so we can get you off of this list.
And the same, Tony needs to go inside because we don't know if there's more unsafe conditions inside that haven't been listed at this point.
Okay,
Okay? So
okay.
I'll leave it to you guys to make a motion.
The cleanup will be continuing during the 30 days too, though, right?
So I guess my question, I'm trying to narrow this down. So is my focus at this point trying to come up with a plan with these exterior issues that the gentleman just mentioned that are in the current report? Or do we move on now to the house and him going through the house?
So the entire house, inside and outside, is in very poor condition. We need to go in and see what you have to do on the inside, and then all those things that are listed will also have to be done on the outside to make this house safe and come off this list. It has to be done in a timely manner, and we have to know what you need to do and what your plan is, I believe. Is that where?
Yeah, so to sort of answer her question, what I would suggest if, she's the back room gal, is while Tony is trying to get in to do the interior inspection, she can work on formulating a plan at least for the exterior stuff.
Okay.
So at a minimum, next month, when you come back, maybe she doesn't know what the interior plan is, but at least have some ideas as to timeframes for getting the siding, the windows, the soffits, the fascia, all that stuff done.
Okay, understood. Thank you for clarifying that.
I need a motion.
What does our motion need to say, just that we're giving a 30-day extension?
Yeah, so it'd be effectively a 30-day deferral, and the conditions would be that she be ordered to appear at the next meeting with at least some preliminary plans to fix some of these unsafe conditions, along with arranging a time, either her individually or a representative of hers, with Tony to go through the inside to come up with, you know, additional items that need to be fixed.
Okay, I'll make a motion to defer this.
Now, can I ask, as far as the permit expires tomorrow, as far as the garage, does something need to be finished with that? Because there's still some debris that needs to be taken away in the next few days?
It's up to you guys if you want to extend the permit.
What if we don't?
That's a good question.
Right, I mean, there's debris laying there that didn't get removed.
I mean, how long do you think is a reasonable time to remove that stuff, Tony?
He can bring a dumpster or bring pickup truck loads again. I mean, if they're, you know.
What do you plan to do with the additional,
Our dumpsters don't allow shingles.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
they know that, so they weren't bringing the shingles, so how are the shingles gonna?
how are we gonna remove the shingles and the rest of the debris from the garage?
You can take it all into the dumpster.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Are you able to get a dumpster and get rid of all the rest of the debris? Because all of that debris is not gonna be accepted by the town dump, so what's your plan?
I'm not gonna get another dumpster. I'll probably just haul it away in pickup trucks, and it'll go to another site. And just pay for like I called today, the transfer, what do they call them? Transfer facilities, you know, where you go and you pay $120 or whatever to take the stuff out of your dump truck and put it in they charge you by the ton or half ton or whatever it is.
I mean, a dumpster's a couple $100.
No, dumpster is $500 to $800
You should
for a
shop
dumpster.
around.
Yeah, I would encourage you to shop around. I've recently got a dumpster, it was not $800. I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to defer this for 30 days with the understanding that the demolition permit get extended, all of the debris get removed in the next 30 days, an appointment be made, an inspection done with Tony, either by herself or her representative, and a plan be brought with what we're doing with the outside to get this off of the unsafe list.
And may I suggest to you that that 30-day extension, maybe the board wants to consider that being a final extension on this particular permit?
Yeah, on this particular one, I would think, this is just on the garage.
On the permit, correct, yes.
Okay.
This is as much as we're extending it.
I second that motion.
Okay, roll call.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Stetauer?
Yes.
Ms. Sheehan?
Yes. Okay, 7109 West 128th Avenue, Cagnina. Hi, how you doing?
Good, how's everybody doing?
Good, good.
Okay, I'm Luigi Cagnino, outside property. You got here, Mr. Roger Hayward with me.
Hi, Roger.
I'm just here, I don't know what he does over in Illinois, but, I was introduced to him, he's a good guy, and that's, this is my backyard now. We're gonna do this right, whatever these guys need, we're gonna do what has to happen, and, that's pretty much it.
All right, Ashley, where we leave off with this one?
So this was left in front of you in October, November. You granted him a 90-day exterior interior demo cleanup. It's my understanding that that has been completed. I don't know if Tony's gone out and gotten an inspection done yet on it.
We gotta get something scheduled.
Okay, so we schedule,
So then,
and that was an interior?
interior, exterior demo cleanup to see what could be repairable with the property. So the intent was that afterwards, Tony'd be able to go out and have a site inspection, determine if it's repairable as it's standing, or if it's not repairable.
Okay,
As
it's rough.
Tony's not gone out and done additional inspection, I don't know if you want to entertain a 30-day deferral for Tony to be able to go out and get that inspection done.
Of the interior and the exterior, correct? You would get both? I mean, can you tell us what the condition is now?
Yeah, it's a lot has been done to it. We stripped it down to where you can see, you know, studs and all
See all the
those.
framing on the inside,
Right.
Okay,
and, so you can see what's on the inside, you can look through, you can see the foundation walls, you can see everything.
see what
You can
needs
walk
to be
through.
done, so we can know if it's repairable.
Exactly,
Alright, okay.
that was the goal.
Yes.
I mean, looking at these pictures, good job. To go from what these pictures look like to what you're saying, that's pretty incredible.
Well,
All good stuff.
So do you want to make a motion to give them time to have Tony go out there and come back with a report next
Yeah,
meeting?
yeah, I mean, really, we need a
Pictures
current
and a
report and current pictures in order to make any sort of decision.
And then Tony can let you know what kind of permit you need to get, or if it's repairable or unrepairable.
All right.
Okay.
So I'd make a motion to extend, oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, I have one other question. If I could be there, Tony, I don't know if I can be there when you're there, okay? So then, he also has a property next door, and he really screwed up there by, starting with that thing, right? And you guys stopped it, praise God, right?
Yeah,
But,
that one is on the list. Actually, it got, during the COVID time, it just kind of went cold, and then you bought it actually,
Yeah.
kind of in the middle of that, so
Yeah, 'cause
about
I've
that
been
last month.
Is there a way to do both inspections,
It's
Tony,
not
or
rated
not?
on
Because
the current list.
It
was on back in
If
2020.
you can help
Right,
him get it
never-
done,
Yeah.
that'd be amazing. And to benefit the community too.
Sure.
Because it's an eyesore for the neighbors too, and I wouldn't want that in my own home.
Gotcha.
I want to get it all nice and
No problem.
nicey.
He actually does. He just doesn't know how.
That's why he has you, right?
I guess.
My thought is to extend for 30 days, to give you guys time to meet with Tony, to get us a current report and current pictures, and then, I don't want to speak for the board, but I'm happy to continue to extend if you guys are on the right path, absolutely. But I would like a update for 30 days if you're good with that. So you guys can meet with Tony in the next 30 days.
You tell me when.
That's the boss right there.
Yeah, you guys just get a hold of him and figure out a time that works for everybody. And then he'll get us pictures and update front, whatever we need at the next meeting. What's the date of the next meeting? It's in
March 15th.
March 15th.
And I would suggest, if you're gonna make that motion, that, just like we did with Ms. Broadway, that when they come back, they at least have some rough idea or plans as to
You'll have
what
no
repairs
first idea, I promise you.
are going to be, timeline, stuff like that.
It'll be a line item. You'll have it.
I'll add that to my motion, some sort of a plan,
Okay.
how we're moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Heather,
I'll second that.
Jim second, roll call?
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Hightower?
Yes.
Ms. Shebit?
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See you Friday.
Okay. 71 West 146th Avenue, Hefner. How you doing? Good. I think that last week you were just coming in to sign the papers, correct?
Yeah, tear it down.
Yeah, okay, so we have...
Yeah, so, last meeting, and I guess a couple meetings ago, Mr. Hebner confirmed that, he acknowledged that the property was in unsafe condition, also acknowledged that he couldn't take it down himself right now, so we prepared, just like we did in a prior one, a stipulation for him to review. So Mr. Hebner, I'd like you to take this and to give it a read, and then probably just pass this one until he's done.
Right.
If he agrees,
yeah,
we'll sign it, then we'll just accept
once
it on the
he signs it,
record.
we'll accept it, and you're,
Back up in front then?
Yeah,
Okay.
but just take a few minutes and read it first.
and then you'll be done with us.
You guys all waiting for me while I read it?
No, we're gonna move on to 13505 Dewey Street, Bowman.
Darren Bowman, 10,001 West 113th Avenue, Cedar Lake, Indiana.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Eric Neff, I'm here on behalf of Mr. Bowman. We did prepare some brochures for people to look at to make our presentation for this evening.
Thank you.
And our first contention is, we dispute that it's really an unsafe building at this point, but that's based in our findings of fact, which are contained on page 1, I think, of the brochure. He has done a lot to the inside of the house as far as demoing it and getting it ready for construction. and the roof and the foundation are very solid. If you take a look at page 4, that is his projected timeline to finish this house within the year. The first thing that needs to be done is the siding, windows, and doors. The outside of the house is in bad shape. That's going to be fixed, but we have to be realistic as far as being able to get all of those things done. There's going to be 8 to 10 windows installed and 2 doors. He has a helper who is actually going to school for construction engineering, is going to help him with this. He's went to Schillings, Menards, and Home Depot. He's got the prices out, but to get those windows and doors put in, he would need until May 31st. He'll try to get it in sooner, but he would need until that time. Once that's installed, all that should be installed by June 15th or sooner, and the siding's going to be finished by June 30th. So he wants to start with the windows and doors. And if you take a look at page 7, that is the floor plan that he's going to utilize, and he's moving the existing door. It's not going to be where it is anymore, but he did fix the seat as required. If you want to see the pictures of what's been done to the inside of the house, those are on pages 24 through 30. And as you can see, he has put 3/4-inch plywood throughout. He's reinforced the foundation, and he's reinforced the roof. The roof's only 5 years old. The foundation and the roof are solid. It's just a matter of getting the outside finished, then moving to the inside to do the electrical and plumbing, and then the final thing would be to do the drywall, the cabinets, and the flooring, and those sort of things. And you want to get it done before the end of this year. But if you do look at especially the roof, that roof's not going anywhere. And it's solid. He has removed the shed that was on the property. There were 2 sheds. He did remove one. He's removed all of the insulation because there was some asbestos in the insulation, and that was removed legally. Yeah. So he has put about $20,000 in addition to the purchase price. He's intending to keep the property. He's not intending to sell it. He had thought about selling it, but after we met and I talked to him about what he's got invested in, the best way to return his investment and to get this house, so it would improve the town of Cedar Lake as well. And I think he's on board with that. It's just a matter of, right now it's very hard getting contractors out to do a project of this size, only because there's so much building going on, even with the market down a little bit, in Cedar Lake, Crown Point, Lowell. To get a contractor to commit to a certain date to come out is almost impossible. So he feels confident that he'll have all of that done by May 31st. And
Maybe sooner,
and hopefully sooner. And he wants to move forward. We don't want to get into whatever's happened up until today. We just go forward and get this thing done.
He submitted a building permit yesterday morning. It's in my office pending, your discretion on length of time. I do find myself a little bit confused because you're talking about him using contractors, and on the permit he put it's all going to be done by himself.
It is gonna be, but my helper is in school. So, I mean, I can't lift all the lumber myself, I have to have a helper, but he's still in school.
So he's not a contractor, he's just a helper.
Right.
But my client was a licensed pipe fitter, so I mean, he has experience in the construction trades.
And is the intent that you're going to then live there after?
That's my intent, that's always been my intent, since I started.
Okay.
I think he put it on mark because he was a little frustrated. So.
Okay, we had that discussion, so it don't so.
Yeah, I'm just confused, Mr. Bowman, because I felt like last time you were, didn't know what, but I felt like you were gunning to sell the place.
Well, I mean, I was, right? I mean, if it would've sold, then I would've just left, but now, I'm in between, I have to do something, right? So if I keep putting more money in it, then I'm just gonna stay there.
Right, no, we did ask you for a commitment, it looks like you
Right.
made one.
Right,
You're committed to
right.
fixing
So
this
I'm
and,
just kinda going, you guys asked me to do something, so I just wanna move forward and do what you asked.
He just, he's got a plan,
Yeah.
I like the
and a
plan.
timeline.
And on page 2, we did indicate all the things that he has done. He has done some things to the house. I mean, we have had COVID, and like I said, and I might have misunderstood me. The part of using a contractor is getting contractors to commit to any timeline is almost impossible with a project this size right now because of supply chain backups and their workers and their schedules. He has the experience and he's willing to do it himself, and he has a helper lined up. He would like probably to get a contractor, but he wants to see how it goes, okay?
Yeah, I think though, if he gets a contractor, does he have to reapply for a different permit then, Ashley, or, no?
We would just need an updated list
Okay,
to reflect the record properly.
okay. So at that time, probably just come back in and give us a list. So I guess, what do you guys think?
He has got a nice plan here, and he's got details on when it's supposed to be done and not done.
Yeah. I'm kind of, I mean, leaving it up to you guys, I would probably lean towards, what was the first timeline, June?
May 31st.
You are continuing doing repairs until, as you go along still now, right?
Well, I haven't touched it recently, but yeah, so if you guys approve the building permit, then I'll move forward from there. But I haven't worked, besides covering where the tarp was, I haven't done anything, you know what I mean?
Right.
See if there's some,
And you're welcome to come look, like I said, you can come in, you don't have to take pictures through the window.
Mr. Bowman, would you be comfortable if we did a 60-day extension? And then I know that's April 15th and your first due date is May 31st.
I mean, I'm fine with whatever, here's the concern that I have. I don't wanna put money in it and then that you guys at some point say, listen, it's taking too long, then the answer's no.
as
Then,
long as
you know what I
we see
mean?
progress, I don't think that we'll lean that way, that's not really where we're at. The problem when people keep coming back here is there's no progress.
Right,
They
okay.
make a lot of promises and nothing happens. If we see progress and you're moving in the right direction, I don't see, I mean, we don't want it taking 5 years
No, right,
to become safe.
right.
But,
But once I get the outside, just as I'm clear, because I think I heard earlier, once the outside is proper, then it just becomes, it's not unsafe anymore, it just comes between myself and the building department?
It's no longer a nuisance, I guess you'd say, which is part of the unsafe building code. It's still not livable without the inside.
Right, obviously I'd have to wait for occupancy permit, but
Right.
then I wouldn't have to come here, I could just deal with the building department.
Whatever, yeah, I mean, whatever.
yeah, when it gets to a point where it's no longer unsafe, then you go back, then you'll deal with the building department,
Okay.
not us.
Could we get 90 days just because of the supply chain backups? Because the windows can get back ordered, doors can get back ordered and that kind of stuff. And we're already February,
It does happen.
so we're looking at March, April. I think May 15th would be.
Right now, there's 2 to 3 weeks just on the side, once I order.
Just to give you an idea, the May meeting would be May 17th, the April would be April 19th.
My thought was 90 days though, sir, is that now we're into May.
Mhm.
So if you're telling me it's gonna take that long to get supplies, and your first timeline is due on May 31st, this isn't a realistic timeline.
It's a realistic timeline for the exterior. I don't think it's gonna take 60 or 90 days to get the supplies. I think it's gonna take 2 or 3 weeks, but sometimes they could be back ordered for an additional 2 or 3 weeks. We had mentioned April 15th, that's 60 days. I think that's a little too short to,
We're not saying we want the house done in 60 days, we're saying we'd like an update.
Okay.
Yes, we ordered them on February 20th, and
You can show a receipt that you ordered them, whatever, something just showing progress.
you good with that?
Yeah.
I'd make a motion that we do a 60-day extension and an additional 30 days as long as work is being completed in that 60 days.
Okay,
It's a total of 90, but you have to have some work completed within 60 days.
So I guess
Yeah.
just to clarify, the building permit hasn't been issued as sort of being held up. So is your motion then to issue a limited duration, a 60-day building permit with the possibility of additional extensions based upon
So that was kind of my question. If you do 60 days and that limits the building permit, because a typical building permit that's not unsafe is 1 year, right? So, I mean, that's what I'm asking is, if I go 60 days and you guys are happy with progress, and then you kind of extend it, I don't have to get a new building permit. That one's
Correct.
No, we
keeps
just
going.
give you extension.
Yeah,
Right,
it'd be an
okay.
extension of the same building permit up
Right.
to the possibility of that 1 year.
Okay.
So I can assure you, the goal of the town is to have you live in a nice home that is, you know, a part of our community. By no means do we want you to spend time and money to rip your house down. That's not our goal. We want you off of this list is what we want. So we're on the same page with that.
There's actually a couple drawings in there, but, yeah. So does Tony need to come by first, or
No,
are
I
you good
I
enough
mean, the
now?
inside is pretty much cleared out. Just, I think with your plans and whatever you submitted to Ashley, we can work with that. She just wanted to know what the board was gonna say before we continued the process.
Okay.
Okay, so you need a motion?
Oh, yeah, I'll second that motion. 60 days building permit with a reading of, you'll reappear in 60 days at our next meeting,
For an update.
with an update. And then
So
we'll
60
extend.
days, what meeting is that?
April 19th at 6 PM.
And as long as we see that you've been purchasing material or there's some sort of an update, then we'll grant you more on the same permit, okay?
And when can I get that permit?
Tomorrow, right?
I'll get it over to Tony tomorrow, and whenever he's done with his review and signs off on it.
It'll be either tomorrow, Friday, or early next week, something. It depends on what we have going on too, so.
Okay.
And, after it leaves my hands, it still has to get processed by the girls.
Can they call me?
And we're.
Yeah, they'll call you when it's ready for pickup, and what's the total.
Okay.
Roll call.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Sensauer?
Yes.
Ms. Sheehan?
Yes. All right, we'll see you in 60 days, and they'll call you with the permit, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
You're
Bowman.
welcome, thank you. All right. 11104 West 130.
Do we want to go back to Mr. Hefner real quick?
Oh, is he ready? Okay, let's do that, yep.
Are you good with that?
7109 West 136th Avenue, Hudson.
I just have 3 copies. One will be for you, one for me, and then one for the township. There's your pen.
I don't hear it.
One more, and then we're good to go.
Something else. On one of the properties, there's no more.
Yep, we're good. Just let the record reflect, Mr. Hefner has executed the stipulations, there's a copy for the town's record. He's taking a copy, our office will keep a copy as well. And so all we would need is a motion to accept his stipulation to permit the demolition of the property.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
All we need is a motion to accept his executed stipulation to permit the demolition of his property.
Okay, I'll accept the executed demolition of your property.
I second it.
Okay, roll call?
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Sensauer?
Yes.
Ms. Sheehan?
Yes.
Good to go?
Thanks,
All
guys.
right,
Thank you.
11104 West 133rd Avenue, Rohan.
Hi, I'm here. Yeah, I'm Andrew Reha.
Okay.
I guess the first thing, I don't know, because I saw,
Your address?
I'm sorry?
Your address?
Name
Oh,
and
my
address.
address, 427 West Oakley Avenue, Lowell, Indiana.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I sent some pictures, I emailed you, do you have those, or I have copies?
I sent them to Tony for his review, to
Okay.
see what he felt, if it was safe.
Well, it's not complete or what, but I came to request 60 days. Sounds like you probably want an update in 30, I'm fine with that.
This one's wrong.
So I'm working on removing the exterior porch, to make that safe. I have probably about 80% down. I have a dumpster coming tomorrow, so I can get rid of the first load of debris.
Okay.
And I've been working on getting estimates and bids, because my intent is to remove the house from the property.
Okay, so you're gonna take it down?
Yeah, I want to take it down. I've wanted to for a while, I just haven't been able to get permission to remove it. But we're at the point now where I've been able to get the permission to remove the house. We're working right now, we're transferring property ownership. It's gonna be transferred to me, so I'll be the sole owner.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I don't know, it's weird, but, so I'm hoping starting next week, I'll be getting some estimates from different contractors for the cost of demolition. It's weird, I've called like 4 or 5 companies, I've only had one return my phone call. Late last week, I issued an RFP so I could try to get more bids, and I've actually gotten good responses. I've had 3 companies reach out to me.
Okay, well, that's good.
So I'm gonna continue moving forward to work, get estimates so that I can, find a contractor to remove
So
the
the
structure.
intent is to take it down?
Yeah, unfortunately, it just, you know, given the state of things and the last couple of years have been really bad, I just can't keep people from breaking in the house.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like every 2 weeks I can go over and somebody kick the door in.
Right.
You know, it's been so dangerous. My aunt was living there, a few years. I don't know, well, it's 2023. I think, I had to get her out of the house in 2019, because that's when the first break-in we had.
Okay.
You know, it wasn't safe for her to be there by herself.
Let's-
And I've just kind of been
let's-
dealing with that. The neighbors have had issues with people kicking their doors in, you know, so, like I said, my intent was to look at removing it this year, and that's what I'm gonna move forward with.
Okay, this is a fairly new one there.
This is fairly new. Last month, you issued the initial demolition order. Andrew has reached out and been in contact multiple times with me over the past month. He's been very consistent in his intent to get bids out to contractors that he wants to take the property down.
So, I mean, myself, I'm fine with that. What are you guys?
He's showing a definite, effort, and I agree with the extension.
I think we have to, because we already did the, orders for demo, so what?
Correct, and he's here now, he's
He's
presented
here now,
evidence.
right.
as to-
Unfortunately, and I
want to do
apologize,
this now.
so I missed the meeting last month, because I didn't find out that
It's,
we were requested until the day after.
so our next step.
So he's here, so the next step would have been to affirm that order, but he's here with
Here
the
too, so
plan.
we won't do that.
And you would just stay the execution of that order, and if you want to give him an extension to continue on the work he's doing, then that's certainly something you can do.
Okay, does he have to apply for a permit?
He will when it comes time for demolition.
When it comes time, when he
Well,
finds somebody.
I applied, and I don't know if you need to approve it, so I applied for a permit to remove the exterior porch, but I don't know, when I'll get approved for that.
When did you apply for it?
Friday or Monday.
Okay.
It wasn't that long ago,
I'll check where it's at in the building
so,
department.
but given the state, I figured it's a formality, like, I didn't want to slow down, I wanted to make it at least safer.
Right.
So that's why I ended up, getting the walls and the roof down on the porch.
So what are your thoughts?
So you feel in the next, you'll get 3 or 4 bids or whatever you're comfortable with, and in the next 3 to 4 months, you'll move on demolition? Or are we talking
Yeah.
6 to 8 months?
No, I'm thinking 3 to 4. I actually talked with a contractor today, and he thinks he can probably get me an estimate by around the 27th. I spoke with another contractor week before last, and he told me he'd get back to me after the 17th, so I'm hoping to see his next week.
90 days?
I don't know. You can go ahead on this one. I'll let you take it.
So if you do 90 days, that would be your May 17th meeting.
I'd make a motion to continue till May 17th meeting.
He's been in contact with Ashley, and this is fairly new on the list, so I would be myself comfortable with you guys on it.
I'll second that.
So to be clear, is that motion to stay the execution of the demolition order and to give him a 90-day deferral?
Correct.
Okay, roll call?
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Sessower?
Yes.
Ms. Sheehan?
Yes. Okay, so that,
Could I also state too that, I know this might have been glossed over, but our building permits, even demolition permits are not a formality, so please do not continue with demolition until you've received approval by the building department.
Yeah, I can wait. I mean, I got it down, it's safer now, like, as far as it's not gonna fall.
Okay.
And I mean, I didn't mean that it's a formality, I know they're required, but given the state and everything, I just figured it was better for me to make it so it's not gonna fall. And especially 'cause since I didn't know to come last month for the meeting until after, I figured that way I also wanted to show you guys that my intent was to take care of things.
Sure.
The only thing I'm gonna do is, so I have, debris and I have a dumpster coming tomorrow. Like, I'm gonna load that up, but I won't finish like knocking the, deck down.
Okay.
Or whatever, so.
One of the girls in the building department will call you when the permit's ready for pickup.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, and I've been waiting. They said they'd call. I just didn't know if it needed to get a more approval or anything.
okay.
And I appreciate the extension and everything. So you said 90 days, so then, what,
Starting May,
May 17th at 6 p.m.
May 17th? Okay. All right, thank you.
did I call roll call?
You did.
Would you like to just make his permit, the demo permit for the house? on a
Yeah,
90-day
yeah,
term?
you know what, can we just make it, for the house since he's, the porch or whatever, 35?
We'll need more information for, keeping the sewer and all that, just whatever, but Ashley can get hold of you on that. So.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
12905 Hilltop, Kukowski, Sheever, Happy Living Trust.
Isaac Johnson, RJ Construction, 12221 Klein Avenue. I have a plan for rebuilding the house, fixing the foundation, adding a new crawl space, finishing the walls, put a second story on it, finish the roof. My plan is to apply for permits tomorrow. I have layouts if you guys want to see them. Ashley said I could bring 8 of them.
Yeah, we probably.
Please. So I guess, my request is to, allow me permission to get a permit so I can, start fixing this.
Are you gonna start right after you receive a permit?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And it's hard to tell, is this repairable, Tony?
There's 2 sticks laying there, I can repair it.
Well, it's not 2 sticks, it is half of the house, though.
Yeah.
I think it's 3/4.
It's the 3-wall house.
No, it's less than 3/4.
Yeah. I just wanna make sure, before you put anything on with the foundation or whatever is repairable.
Oh, yeah. I have a plan.
If I may, I do know these guys, I know the company.
Okay.
I'm not.
Not worried about it?
I don't have concerns.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it's nothing against you, just looking at the picture, it's hard to believe.
We need the input.
Yeah.
Good.
Any work will be an improvement.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so.
Any motion, you guys did do the initial demolition order, so similar to your other one where you did the stay, and then however long of a term for the permit.
Right.
How long do you think, you're gonna get going right away? Are you gonna work on it nonstop? Is this the
Yeah,
side project?
I'm a regular construction company, so, this is what I do for a living.
You're gonna start and continue.
Yeah, so my plan is, I talked to the concrete man, today, and he said, okay, well, we'll put it on the schedule, so I'm gonna start working on it.
Okay.
What do you think your time frame is?
I'd imagine I'd have it finished 6 months to a year. It'll be,
What about just the exterior?
what do you want from the exterior? I'll have it done, livable house.
6 months to a year.
I guess we're asking if it's actually safe, like.
Oh,
I didn't mean to kick in, I'm sorry.
we're
Actual
safe.
foundation, safe, new walls, windows closed up, safe.
So I'd imagine, give me 2 weeks to get the excavation done, another 2 to 3 weeks to get concrete in the ground, and I'll start framing as soon as it's dry for concrete.
No.
It's pretty much gonna be treated like a new construction project.
Right,
Yeah, it is essentially. I mean, I'll have to tear the roof off of it just so
Right,
it's not in the way, but other than that, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a couple walls and a floor.
So I guess basically when you guys want an update.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the same motion we made for Mr.
Ray Hall?
Bone.
Always Bowen.
Yeah.
90 days, 60 days, what are you thinking?
I was gonna say, I prefer longer, just so I don't have to.
Right, you don't wanna keep coming back and,
Yeah.
plus, we can always drive by and probably see.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be good with a 90-day stay on the demolition permit, and an update in 90 days is what I would say.
So that'd be May again.
Yeah, so, I mean,
Just an
I was gonna say, it was 17?
Yeah, May 17th update.
so I'll go ahead and make a motion for a 90-day stay on the demolition.
Okay.
And, an update in that 90 days.
You got it.
Second it.
Okay, roll call.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Sensauer?
Yes.
You good?
Ms. Sheehan?
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
And thank you, sir,
Yeah, no
for
problem.
making it right.
Okay, 7308 West 138th Place, Garrett.
He is online.
Okay.
Mr. Perry, there you go.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I've spoke to Ashley a couple times, and, my plan basically is to remove the garage and, clean up the debris, get a dumpster out there for that, and then, get the appropriate permit, depending upon whether I hire somebody to do it or I do a lot of it myself as far as the removal of the garage. And then while that's being done, I wanna get some estimates on the house to see if it is repairable and all that. And if it makes sense to repair it.
Questionable.
Excuse me?
I said that's questionable.
Right, well, I understand.
We definitely.
But I wanna do that before I make any, final
Sure.
decision.
Well, I think that by looking at myself, we definitely need the garage down, we need all the debris around the house and everything cleaned up.
Right, well, as I said to Ashley in our discussions, I mean, I thought that was should be the priority. And then, everything else as well, but I wanna get it cleaned up first.
Okay, and how soon do you think you can get a dumpster out there and start working on it?
Well, I did call a while back, I haven't called lately, but, Ashley did send me some information as far as, because I live out of town, I live in Louisville, Kentucky, but I do have family up there and stuff, so I'm gonna be coming up as much as I can, and I'll coordinate everything. And I'll try to meet, and I told Ashley I'd try to meet as many of you as I can or whatever, to make sure you guys understand that I'm serious about getting things taken care of one way or the other.
I sent him a list of our registered contractors in the Unsafe report. He reached out shortly after the last Unsafe meeting. He has been in consistent contact with me and talking about coming up, making sure it's done, or talking to family in the area and making sure it's taken care of.
Okay.
Sir, what's your time frame to remove the debris, though? I understand you're committed to it.
Well, again, with weather and I don't wanna commit to anything definitive. I mean, it's gonna take probably, I just don't know yet on that. I would think at least a couple months, but total. But I'm gonna try to get rolling on it here right away.
So your intent for now is to remove the debris from the exterior and the garage?
Well, the garage needs to be removed, I understand that. It was, from a snowstorm, it collapsed, so I'm aware that needs to get out of there. And then any of the debris around it, well, I'll get a dumpster to get that out. But one of my things is, I'm not sure if it makes more sense for me just to hire a company to get rid of it. I've been listening to, this meeting, and it sounds like, you know, maybe there's a company out there that might be able to do it a lot quicker and for a reasonable amount of money. You know, in a safer, us trying to do it.
So do you feel in the next, okay.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Do you feel in the next 60 days that you can make progress with the removal?
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely make progress. I mean, I don't wanna make no guarantee that everything will be done, but as I told Ashley, I will keep in touch with her. Because I don't live there, I will periodically call her or email her or whatever and try to let her know how things are progressing.
We want to see significant.
And it is close enough to you guys that you're gonna see whether it's done.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, sir, and that's part of the issue is that you don't live here, but our members of the community do and have to look at this every day. So that's why we're so insistent on progress being made and some sort of a timeline being provided.
I understand. It should have been done a long time ago, so I agree.
So we just think 60 days and we want to see like major progress.
Right. So we haven't issued,
Correct, nothing's been issued on this one.
okay.
What was that now?
She was clarifying that there had been no, initial demolition orders issued at this point in time.
Right.
Would we defer this for 60 days?
Yeah, if that's what the board wants to do, certainly, and then attach whatever conditions you want to add to it.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion, I'm sorry, can I make a motion? I'd like to make a motion to extend, to defer this item for 60 days with the understanding that you'll come back in 60 days with, some progress. Significant progress and some sort of a plan going forward.
Right. So then I will not need to attend the next meeting, but I'll be invited to that 1 and 2 months?
Yeah, that's April 19th.
Okay. So, I'll try to attend in person if I can.
Okay, what we'll be looking for is a lot of improvement, a lot of cleanup.
Yeah, well, it needs a lot, so I appreciate you guys, and it sounds like you guys are very, professional there in Cedar Lake nowadays. I like to see that.
All right.
No, not yet.
Thanks, China.
Okay.
We will need a demo permit for the garage,
Okay, so you're gonna have to apply for a demo permit for the garage.
He's
Okay,
discussing me next week.
So a demo permit for that, no matter how it gets done? I mean, is it
Yes.
different if?
Right,
Okay.
whether you do it or somebody else, you're still gonna need their permit.
Okay, and
So I would apply for that right away.
Excuse me?
I would apply for that sooner than later.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. She said I guess there's a way to do it online or also do it in person, one way or the other. Is that correct?
You can get the permit off of online and you can email it in to me, or you can, when you come in next week, you can turn it in, fill it out while you're in town hall.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to do it in person if possible, and I'll keep you updated as to, you know, when I'm in and everything.
We appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you.
Roll call?
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Densauer?
Yes.
Ms. Sheehan?
Yes. Update items, can we run through these pretty quick?
Yes, ma'am. Restevsky, he said that one, they're still waiting to close on the other property so that they can either demolish or repair the house without trespassing on somebody else's property. 7220 West 138th Place, that's the Leonhardt property right up the road. It looks like they've done more wrapping over the past week, so they're continuing progress. 7120 West 132nd Place, Britton, they finished their interior exterior demo and they're moving on to the regular permitting process for repairing the structure. Shane's Bar and Grill, their design guys have reached out to me. They're working on plans to get together so that they can get the one lot subdivision and any variances needed. Bird, that is.
Yeah, that one, Dave and I spent a decent amount of time talking about that today, figuring out what the appropriate vehicle, if you will, for filing would be with the courts. We've decided on that. We're gonna need Chris's signature on the verified complaint. I anticipate that'll be completed and ready to be filed in the next 14 days.
Okay, thank you.
Baumberger, the stipulation was signed, it's just waiting, well, Baumberger and both Mogan properties, they're on the list, it's just waiting in when it gets demolished from the town, and I believe Braves is still in litigation.
No update there.
Right. All right, I think that's any public comment? Yes.
So will the Hefner property then be moved to an update item?
Yes.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Public comment? Okay, come on up, state your name and address.
Hi, I live in 7,000 West 127 Place, Pump A. Your name? My name is Nick Missouli. Just to let you know that, that house you were talking about with the drives that are going down, I went by there and there was cats moving in there.
There's what?
Cats.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that or not, but I've been hearing from the neighbors on the street, there have been, cats moving in there.
Okay,
From the
we'll
neighbors.
definitely note that.
Yeah, 'cause one neighbor stopped me and he like, well, when I went over there, I went over there in that neighborhood, in that area. She said, well, yeah, there's cats moving in there.
Yeah, it's kinda hard when there's feral cats in the area to keep control of that.
Yeah,
but we'll-
'cause there was a hole in the side of the building.
Right,
I just noticed that
Yeah.
when that drive was torn down, that was in the area.
right, well, we'll definitely keep our eye out for that.
Yeah, you might have to have, somebody, watching the area a little bit often, 'cause I want nobody over there unless if that house is,
Right,
pretty well.
appreciate it as always, thanks for keeping an eye out for it.
Yeah, I always keep an eye out on it, 'cause I go around the area a lot.
Okay,
So I do
Appreciate
keep
it.
an eye on it.
well noted, thank you.
Like I told the manager too, I told him that, well, I'm mostly doing him a favor.
Thank you, Nick.
Yep.
Anybody else for public comment? Public comment going once, going twice, this meeting is adjourned.